Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nur Amni bin Kariman. I'm from J4EM110-3E and my matrix number is 2019-425-508. And for today's experiment, we're gonna do about the observation on the microstructure of cast iron. And there's two objectives for this experiment. And the first one is to observe microstructures of cast iron under optical microscope, and the second one to identify the classification of cast iron according to the characteristic of the microstructure obtained. To make sure we can do this experiment, we need some apparatus. The first one is metallography microscope. The second one is a computer. The third one is 4 samples of cast iron, and next is a glove to protect your hands. Next, you need a mask to protect your nose and mouth, and the last one, of course, you need a goggle to protect your eyes. For the procedure of the experiment, there are 11 steps to make sure we can do the experiment. The first one is switch on the computer. Number 2, double click on the isolation light x64 icon. Click on the image capture icon on the left side of the interface. And the third step is choose live magic icon at the right side of the interface. The fourth one, switch on the microscope. And the fifth one is put the sample on the workstation and place under magnification lens. Please use the light as your position reference. And the number 6 is bring up the workstation by adjusting the coarse focus slowly until the sample close up to the magnification lenses. Be careful when adjust the coarse focus to avoid the sample hit the magnification lens. Number 7, adjust the optical lens accordingly to both of your eyes until the image that you see is quite clear. And number 8, to adjust the sample image more clearly, you can adjust the focus by using the fine focus adjuster at the left side of the microscope. And number 9, you can adjust the magnification lens for zoom in the image on the sample surface by rotating the magnification lens. And number 10, please do not hold the magnification lens body while adjusting. Use the magnification lens holder to change the magnification lens. And the last step is continue observation on every sample that have been given. And don't you forget to switch off the microscope and computer after you finish the experiment. There are several discussions that have been made for this experiment. So for the first discussion is briefly differentiate between steel and cast iron with reference to their carbon percentage and hardness. And the answer is the carbon percentage for steel is less than 2.14%, while cast iron has carbon percentage of more than 2.14%. Cast iron is harder and stronger, but it is not as tough as steel. Steel is tougher, but it is not as hard and strong as cast iron. Steel has ductile and malleable properties, and its melting point is higher than cast iron. And for the second discussion is on the basis of microstructure. Briefly explain why grey cast iron is brittle and weak in tension. The grey cast iron is brittle and weak in tension due to the pointed and sharp end of graphite flake, which serve as points of stress concentration. These give rise to weaker areas in the metal. Thus, grey cast iron has low tensile strength. Stress concentration occurs at the tip of these graphite flakes and makes them brittle in nature. For the last discussion, compare white and nodular cast iron with respect to composition, microstructure, and mechanical characteristic. For the composition first, we go for the white cast iron. The carbon contained in the white cast iron is more than 2.5% but lower than 4.0%, and the silicon content is less than 1%. For the nodular cast iron, magnesium and cerium is added to the grey iron composition before casting occurs. And the second one, for the microstructure, for white cast iron, the microstructure is perlite and cementite. For the nodular cast iron, nodular or spherical light, graphite structure, and perlite or ferritic matrix. And the last one, for the mechanical characteristic, white cast iron, they are not easily machined. Secondly, is relatively very hard, brittle, and not weldable compared to grey cast iron. For the nodular cast iron, the characteristic is significant increase in material ductility. The second one is good formability, and the last one is good weldability. So, the conclusion for the experiment overall, I can conclude that this experiment has accomplished the objective, which are observing the microstructure of cast iron under optical microscope and identify the classification of cast iron according to characteristic of the microstructure obtained. We can see the difference in each microstructure of steel, and every one of them have their own characteristic, composition, size and shape of microstructure. And that's all from me, and see you for the next experiment. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.